Don't. I didn't know you was coming.
Hello, I'm Games Radar Executive Editor Andy Hartup, and I'm joined by Senior Writer Dave Houghton.
Hello.
Who has been given an exclusive look at Mafia 3.
Oh, I have.
And it is rather good, isn't it, Dave?
It's very, very, very good. Yeah.
So, let's first of all talk about, give us a rough overview of what it's about.
Okay, Mafia 3 picks up a couple of decades after Mafia 2. Complete change of setting, change of protagonist now. We've moved on to 1968. It's set in New-Bordо, which is definitely not New Orleans, except for being exactly like New Orleans in 1968. Yep. You now play Lyncoln Clay. He's an ex-member of the Black Mafia, just come out of Vietnam. Obviously, he's a kind of a one-man microcosm for all of America's major concerns at the time, with civil rights, the Vietnam War, etc., etc. Your black mob guys have been screwed over by the local Italian mob, and it's now your job to kind of put everything aside to avenge that.
Okay, excellent. Now, you've had a few hours to actually go over and play it. Tell us a little bit, first of all, talk to us about the structure, because there's some debate, like the previous Mafia games were not like free-roaming open world.
No.
But this one is more that way, but still is constrained, right?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I was kind of worried as a big fan of Mafia 2, because Mafia 2 arguably is not an open world game, as you say. It's set in open world, but it's basically a very well curated, very mature linear action game that sort of has a really big film set built around it, really. I was kind of worried that it would lose some of that focus, but it hasn't. They filled out the open world really smartly, actually, in that you're still always moving forward. Everything you do ties to the main story and pushes you forward. There's no random stay in the pub for an hour playing darts minigame nonsense. Effectively, the way it works is you're taking down the Italian mob racket by racket, effectively, taking over their business progressively. To do that, each racket has a certain amount of money it brings in. You've got to knock that down to zero. To do that, at any given situation, you've got maybe 8 or 9 options that will do that. You can chase down the supply trucks on the road, take them out, kill their enforcers, have full-scale assaults on some of the bigger installations. They'll bring the money down progressively. You're free to choose any way you want. Okay. But ultimately, it all pushes you forward and feeds you back to the main storyline. It just gives you like a wider route to progression, basically.
Okay. And can you choose which of these lieutenants to take down first, or is that all sort of preset?
In the demo I had, yeah, it was effectively, I had a menu of activities. Like, I had the main mission, then there were like 8 or 9 little sub-options, which were kind of, chase the vans down, steal the money from this site, kill this guy, and they'll all give you little icons on the map. And you're free to just pick and choose those as you wish.
That's cool. Now, one of the things I noticed about Mafia when I first went and saw it last year in August at Gamescom is how wonderfully violent it is.
Oh, it's disgusting, but really satisfying. Really satisfying.
Tell us about some of the nastiest stuff that you did.
Oh, you can just... You've got 2 guys coming at you, shoot the first one in the head. The headshots are so snappy and exciting. It's just like nothing extravagant like Gears of War, just a beautiful little crack pop kind of thing. Shoot one guy as he's falling, sprint ahead, grab his mate, knee him in the chest, stab him through the throat, or stick a knife through his chin up through his head. You can... there's bits where I've punched a guy, then grabbed him by the neck and choke slammed him down into a wall, Undertaker style.
Horrible.
It's
that is horrible.
Yeah,
that is properly nasty.
Yeah.
No, I really, really love that. And there's some driving stuff as well.
There is.
Did you get to do much of that?
I did a little bit of driving. Yeah.
How does it feel?
It feels really good. They've actually ported over Mafia 2's driving model.
Okay.
Which makes sense because it's still one of the best for open world. It's got that perfect blend of madcap kind of craziness and proper chuckability of your cars, but you still feel there's a definite kind of driving game purity to it as well. Because it makes sense. They've got it's been modded slightly, but they've got one of the guys who used to work at BlackRock who did Split Second.
Oh yeah,
kind of working on that. So they've got real driving game guys working on it.
Good, yeah.
But they've had to. I was chatting to them. They said they've changed very little because it's just Mafia 2's was so damn good to start with.
The cars are slightly sexy, slightly more modern as well.
They're a little bit more modern because it's the late 60s. So you've got these giant muscle car boat type things flipping around. But the extra weight on those things just feels really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
So there's also a strategic layer to the action as well, isn't there? In terms of that you put your own lieutenants in charge of certain businesses, don't you? So tell us a little bit about that.
I think that's going to be the sort of climax point of each major racket takedown. The way it seems to work is you've got the various activities that you can do to kind of chip the money down. Then you get a big linear set piece level like Mafia 2 was built around, and they're great. And then you have a sit down with 3 lieutenants who are the leaders of the Irish, rebel Italian, and Haitian gangs, respectively. And then you've got to once you own a new territory, you hand it to one of those guys to look after because you're too busy causing havoc everywhere else, basically. That gets really interesting because if one of them starts feeling like the others are getting preferential treatment, they're going to start getting pissed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
They're going to start getting really annoyed. I mean, but the thing, so you've kind of got to try and treat everyone fairly, but you can't, because every bit you give them, they'll give you a new upgrade with
they give
maybe a
you
new
perks and
handout,
things like that,
new
don't they?
perks like stuff like Vito. You can call him in and he'll send some muscle down for you to help you out in a tough fight. One of them will send you a van full of guns to resupply whenever you need to. One of them will give you new health and armor, and sometimes the wrong one might offer you the perk that you absolutely need, so you can't be really fair to everyone. In the last one, I gave it to Cassandra. I mean, partly just to see what would happen because she was already really flush.
Yeah.
Burke went ballistic. Vito got really, really sad. Vito, which made me real awful because Vito's the protagonist of Mafia 2. And this is him like in his 50s now, looking really sad and burnt out. He compared me to Joe, his best mate from Mafia 2, which if you played Mafia 2, you'll know what that could deep.
Yeah, not necessarily a good thing, is it?
No, it's really sad. I was literally apologising to him in the room. Burke, though, is really interesting. Went nuts, told me I had one last chance to keep him happy. After that, it was going to be major trouble. The devs.
So is it possible that they're going to go to you? They're going to go to war with you as well?
I think so.
That
I
is
don't
really
know.
interesting.
Like the devs at Hangar 13 have been very, very quiet about what that actually means. But the way Burke was talking, I'd say at the very least he's going to cut off perks. He's much more likely. I think it's more likely I'm going to have 2 enemy factions rather than 1.
I love the idea of, obviously you've got all these choices in games and you can choose one thing or another, and usually it fills up a morality bar one way or the other, and I love the idea of you actually losing perks because you're having to choose between three friends, 3 allies.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that kind of reflects really nicely on Lincoln, your protagonist as well, in that rather than being kind of keeping it quite systemic and mechanical, it changes the way he relates to them as well. I mean, because like I said, it's the choice being kind of, do I want the perks or do I want the friends? And they're both really hard to choose between. But say you make a dick move like I did and kind of screw 2 of them in favour of one of them. Lincoln's response to the other 2 is a lot harsher than it would have been if you've been playing a lot more happily with them as well. So I think the way he's going to be portrayed kind of